Hi there, I'm Christian Dunn, Executive Chef at Eddie Merlot's. Today I'm going to be showing you how to prepare the entree items for the meal kit that you'll be provided with for the Stepping Stones Open Your Heart event next Tuesday, February 7th. At the very beginning, you're going to want to start with the steak. You're going to want to get a saute pan as hot as possible. I'd recommend leaving it on the stove for about 3 to 4 minutes just to ensure that it's nice and hot so that you get a perfect sear on that steak. Alright, so once your pan is nice and ripping hot, we're going to liberally season this filet mignon on both sides with salt and pepper. You want to be sure to get all of the edges as well so you have a nice perfect coating all the way around. And once you've got that done, we're going to go into the saute pan with no fat at all. The fat from the steak is going to actually naturally render and produce that crust. While you have that working, you can go ahead and put your sides in the oven. You want to have an oven preheated to 350 degrees. All of the items that we'll be cooking in the oven today will be at 350. It's really important that when the steak is cooking, especially on the first side, that you don't want to move it around too much. That'll hinder the crust that we're trying to achieve. Alright, so after about 2 minutes on the first side, we're going to go ahead and flip it to another side of the pan. We don't want to put it back in the same spot, that way we can continue achieving that crust. Once we've got that flipped, if you have any salmon in your meal kit, it's on a pre-roasted cedar plank. And this will just go into your oven at 350 degrees. You can use a sheet tray or an oven-safe saute pan, whatever you have at home. So once you've attained that golden sear on each side, we're going to transfer this right into the oven. And this will cook in the oven for about 10 minutes to achieve a medium rare. For every temperature above that you'd like to go, you want to put it in for about an additional 2 minutes each. So for a medium, you'll want to put it in for 12 minutes, mid-well for 14 minutes. If you have a convection fan in your oven, it's best to use that for all of these items. So while everything's in the oven, you can go ahead and put your portion of butternut squash ravioli into some boiling water. And it's really important that you salt that boiling water, about 2 tablespoons per half gallon of water that you use. The pasta is going to cook for about 4 minutes, and while that's happening, you can go ahead and put your brown butter sauce into a saute pan. It's really important that you heat this up on very low heat, unless the butter will start to separate and you won't get that nice velvety sauce that we're after. So I'd turn that all the way on low while your pasta's cooking. So after about 5 minutes of your proteins cooking, we're going to go ahead and add a couple pats of butter to all of the sides, so the green beans and the mashed potatoes. We'll also want to put a little bit of salt and pepper on those green beans. So we'll go back in the oven until we're ready to plate up. So after the salmon has been in for about 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and take it out and add some of our salmon butter to that. Nice little dollop right on top so that it melts over. We're going to put this back in the oven for about 2 minutes and then it'll be ready to go. So after about 8 minutes, if you're going for a medium rare on your steak, we're going to take a little bit of our steak butter, and same thing with the salmon, we're going to put that right on top. Nice little dollop. Then we're going to go back in the oven for about 2 minutes. So with the pasta, after about 5 minutes, we're going to take it out of the pasta water and strain off all of that excess water. And we're going to go right into the pan that has that brown butter sauce that we've been heating up on low. At this point, it doesn't really need to cook at all. So once that butter starts to froth up, we're just going to take this off heat until we're ready to plate up. So at this point, it's been about 10 minutes. We can take out our salmon with that butter drizzled over the top. The same thing with the steak. And then lastly, our sides. We're going to want to give the mashed potatoes a nice stir. And same thing for the green beans. We're going to give that extra butter that's in there a nice stir before we go onto the plate. You're going to put this cedar plank with your salmon right on the plate. And same thing with the filet. I recommend letting this rest for about 2 minutes before eating. Very carefully put the noodles into the bottom of the bowl. And that extra brown butter sauce we're gonna put right on top. Gonna get topped with some of this crumbled goat cheese. And the only thing that you guys will have left to do is enjoy.